Ever feel like you're trying to level up in a game, but without knowing the cheat codes?
Oh, tell me about it.
That's what it can feel like trying to build business credit sometimes.
Right.
It unlocks all these opportunities for your business,
Yeah.
but the rules seem so hidden.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily for us, you've been digging into some articles about this.
I have.
And that's really smart because it's way more important than most people realize.
It really is.
Today, we're going to break down these articles.
Okay.
And with the help of our business credit expert here,
That's me.
we're going to bust some myths wide open so you can approach building business credit with confidence.
I'm excited to dive in.
Me too. There's so much misinformation out there. It's no wonder people feel lost.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So, like, for example, have
Yeah.
you ever heard that only massive corporations can really build business credit?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
It just feels a bit unfair if it's true,
Yeah,
right?
it's definitely a common myth.
Yeah.
But the truth is, any business can build credit.
Oh.
Yeah, from a solo freelancer to a huge company.
Wow. So it doesn't matter how big or small you are.
That's great.
It's all about laying the right foundation.
Okay, so no need to be a corporate giant.
Exactly.
And we don't have to wait decades to see results.
No.
That's a relief.
It doesn't have to take years like some people think.
Okay, so how long does it really take to get things rolling?
With the right moves,
Okay.
you can establish your first business credit lines within 60 to 90 days.
That's less than 3 months.
That's right.
Okay, so like a business credit speed run?
Kinda, yeah.
Tell me more.
All right, well, one of the first things you should do is get a DUNS number.
DUNS number.
Yeah, it's like a social security number for your business.
Okay,
It's how a lot of lenders use to check you out.
got it.
It unlocks a lot of doors.
DUNS number is on the list.
All right.
Now I'm seeing a lot of talk about starter vendors.
Yes,
Are these like the training wheels of building credit?
that's a great way to put it.
Okay, cool. So these are vendors that report to business credit bureaus, which helps build your initial credit history.
Okay, so give me some examples.
Think office supply companies, fuel cards, that sort of thing.
Interesting. So you're not jumping straight into big bank loans.
Right,
You're proving yourself with these smaller accounts first.
exactly.
Got it.
Yeah, you want to build that trust.
But wait, does this mean my personal credit score is irrelevant?
It's not irrelevant,
Okay.
but it's not the only factor.
Okay.
There's this big myth out there that personal and business credit are the same thing.
Yeah, I hear that all the time.
They're actually totally different.
Really?
Yeah, business credit has its own rules, scoring ranges, the whole 9 yards.
So it's not like my good personal credit automatically gives my business a head start.
Not exactly.
Okay.
While good personal credit can help, it's not a make or break thing for building business credit.
Okay. That's good to know.
A lot of lenders are way more focused on how your business itself handles money,
Uh-huh.
not just your personal track record.
So it's like my business is its own entity.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense.
It really underscores that a business has its own financial identity,
Yeah.
separate from the owner.
But how different are these scores, really?
Pretty different.
Okay, so is it like apples and oranges?
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
Personal credit scores usually go from 300 to 850,
Yeah, right.
but business credit scores are more like 0 to 100.
Wow. Okay, so even how the schools are calculated is totally different.
Yes, and they're based on different things.
Like what?
Personal credit looks at your loans and credit card bills,
Uh-huh.
while business credit is more about how you pay suppliers and vendors.
This really emphasizes the need to keep those two worlds separate.
Exactly.
Okay.
Keeping personal and business credit distinct protects your personal assets.
In what way?
If your business hits a rough patch
Yeah.
and your finances are all mixed up, you could risk your personal savings, your home, everything.
That's a scary thought.
It is, so keeping those lines clear is super important.
Definitely a powerful reminder.
It is.
There's. Now, another question that pops up a lot is what's more important,
Yeah,
cash flow or business credit?
that's a great question.
It feels like a chicken or the egg situation.
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
I like to think of it this way.
Okay.
Cash flow is like your current health.
Okay.
It's the money coming in and out right now.
Right.
Business credit is more like your fitness plan.
Okay.
It's about building strength for the future.
Okay. I like that. That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
So strong cash flow keeps the lights on today,
Mm-hmm.
but good business credit sets you up for bigger and better things down the line.
Exactly. You need both for a truly healthy business.
Okay.
Strong cash flow means you can handle everyday expenses.
Right.
But good business credit opens doors to loans with lower interest rates,
Okay.
better deals with suppliers, And that can fuel growth in a way that just cash flow alone can't.
So it's like cash flow is running the race and business credit is training for the Olympics.
I like that. You need both to really succeed.
Okay, and that brings us to another myth.
Okay.
That all business credit reports are created equal.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that one's not true.
I just assumed there was one big report card out there.
Nope.
Really?
Just like with personal credit, there are multiple business credit bureaus,
Oh, wow.
each with their own quirks when it comes to how they collect and report information.
Okay, so which ones should we be paying attention to?
The big three are
Yep.
Dun & Bradstreet,
Okay.
Experian Business, and Equifax Business.
So those are the big ones.
Those are the ones.
Okay, and do they all have the same scoring system?
Each has its own scoring model.
Oh, wow. So we really need to understand the nuances of each one?
To get the full picture, yeah.
Okay, so we can't just check one report and call it a day.
Nope.
Got it. But with all this focus on building credit, I can't help but wonder,
Yeah.
do you still need a fancy office to be taken seriously?
Thankfully, that's another myth we can bust.
Oh, good.
The landscape has changed.
I mean, so many businesses are remote these days.
You're right. What matters most now is having a legitimate business entity,
Okay.
proper documentation, and an address.
So what works if you're working from home or on the go?
A virtual office or a P.O. box can often do the trick.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It levels the playing field for entrepreneurs who don't have a brick and mortar setup.
Exactly.
Awesome. So we've tackled the myth of the fancy office.
We have.
Now let's talk about business credit cards.
Right.
Are they still the only way to build credit?
They're definitely useful,
Okay.
but they're just one piece of the puzzle.
Ah, I sense another myth-busting moment.
There are actually many ways to build a diverse credit profile.
So, like, what else can we do?
Vendor credit lines are a great example.
Vendor credit lines.
Yeah.
Refresh my memory. What are those again?
Basically, it's a line of credit you get directly from the companies you buy from.
Okay.
It lets you purchase things on credit.
So instead of paying up front, you get a sort of tab with your suppliers? Exactly. They can be easier to get than bank loans.
And especially for newer businesses, I imagine.
Especially for newer businesses, yes.
Interesting. So vendor credit lines are one option.
Yes.
What are some other ways to build credit that people might not know about?
Equipment financing is another good one.
Equipment financing.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, considering how much equipment many businesses rely on.
Exactly. It shows lenders you can handle debt responsibly,
Uh-huh.
which can help your score.
And so I imagine paying your suppliers on time can help boost your credit.
And believe it or not, something as simple as consistently paying your suppliers on time can boost your credit too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, so those invoices we're paying every month are actually helping us behind the scenes.
Exactly. It all adds up.
That's awesome.
It is.
So we've learned about vendor credit lines, equipment financing,
Yes.
and the power of paying on time.
Yeah, it's important.
But what about those tiny credit lines?
Yeah.
Like a small account with a starter vendor.
Yeah. Are those even worth bothering with?
That's another myth we need to debunk.
Okay.
Every credit line, no matter how small, can have a positive impact.
So even those seemingly insignificant lines can move the needle.
Absolutely. Think of it like building a house.
Okay.
You don't start with the roof.
You start with the foundation.
You start with a strong foundation.
Gotcha.
Small accounts are those early bricks.
I like that visual.
Yeah.
Each little account we manage well adds another brick to our credit foundation,
Exactly.
eventually letting us build something bigger and better.
Right.
But what about businesses in industries that are considered high risk?
Yeah.
Can they even build credit if lenders are already a little wary?
That's a myth, too.
Really?
Just because you're in a higher risk industry doesn't mean you're locked out of the credit game.
Okay.
It might take a more strategic approach,
Got it.
but there are absolutely options.
So it's not a hopeless situation.
No, not at all.
It just requires a bit more finesse.
Exactly. The key is to find lenders and vendors who specialize in your industry.
Okay.
They understand the nuances of your business and are more likely to work with you.
So it's about finding those niche experts
Yes,
who speak your language.
exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does.
That's really encouraging. It shows that even when things seem stacked against you,
Yeah,
there are paths forward.
there are. With the right strategy, building business credit is possible for anyone.
This has been eye-opening.
Yeah.
We've busted so many myths already.
I know, right?
Before we jump into part 2 of this deep dive,
Okay,
let's recap what we've learned today.
great idea.
First takeaway. Size doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
You don't have to be a huge corporation to build business credit.
Right.
And it doesn't have to take forever either. We're
Yeah.
talking months, not years.
That's right.
And we've also learned that personal and business credit are totally separate,
Very important.
with different scores,
Yep.
ranges, and factors that influence them. And keeping them distinct is key to protecting our personal assets. Huge. We also debunked the myth that you need a traditional office space to build credit,
Yeah, that one's gone.
and that business credit cards aren't the only game in town.
You have so many options.
And most importantly,
Yeah.
we busted the myth that businesses in high-risk industries are just out of luck.
You can do it.
There are options out there for everyone.
Absolutely.
This has been an empowering conversation so far.
It has been great.
Be sure to tune in for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll take all this knowledge
Yeah.
and turn it into actionable strategies for building a strong business credit profile.
Love it. Welcome back.
We're back.
I hope you're ready to level up your business credit knowledge,
I am. Let's go.
because we're about to get into the nitty-gritty of building that all-important credit profile.
All right, let's do it.
So remember how we talked about a business needing its own separate financial identity?
Right, like it's its own character
Exactly.
in the credit game.
And to make that separation official,
Yeah.
you need to establish a legal business entity.
Okay, so we're not just winging it. We're making things legit.
We are.
Why is that so important for building credit?
Because lenders want to see that you're operating as a legitimate business,
Uh-huh.
separate from your personal finances.
Yeah. Okay.
It protects you and shows them you're serious.
It's like having a verified account.
Exactly.
It builds trust.
It does.
Okay.
Plus, it can have tax advantages and protect your personal assets if anything goes wrong.
So what are our options here?
Sure, we're talking LLCs, corporations, that sort of thing.
Okay, so we need to choose our character class wisely.
Choose wisely.
What happens once we've got that legal entity set up?
All right, next up, you'll need to get an EIN.
An EIN.
Yes,
What's that?
an employer identification number.
And why do we need it?
Think of it as a social security number for your business.
Okay.
It's issued by the IRS.
Okay.
You'll need it for all sorts of things.
Like what?
Opening bank accounts,
Uh-huh.
filing taxes,
Okay.
and yes, applying for credit.
So it's like the official ID that lets our business play in the financial world.
Exactly. Without an EIN, building business credit is almost impossible.
Really?
Most lenders won't even consider you
Okay, EIN is on the list.
on the list.
Legal entity, check. EIN, check.
Right, looking good.
What's the next item on our credit building checklist?
Now it's time to set up a dedicated business bank account.
Okay, can I just use my personal bank account to keep things simple?
I know it's tempting,
Yeah.
but trust me, it's a recipe for disaster.
We talked about this before with the credit scores.
Yes.
But why is it so important for bank accounts, too?
Because mixing your business and personal money
Uh-huh.
makes it really hard to track your cash flow, which lenders look at very closely.
Okay.
Plus, it just looks unprofessional.
So it's like trying to play a game with 2 controllers at once.
Exactly.
Things are bound to get messy.
Bound to get messy.
Okay, I'm sold on the separate account. Any tips on what to look for when choosing one?
Shop around, compare, look for low fees, online banking features, and maybe even business credit card options down the road.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you have options.
So it sounds like we're really building a strong financial foundation for our business.
You got it.
Okay.
It's all about establishing a professional financial identity
Yeah.
that makes lenders sit up and take notice.
Okay, so we've got our legal structure,
Yes.
our EIN, and our dedicated bank account.
It's all coming together.
Now we're ready to start racking up those credit points, right?
That's the spirit. The next step is where you really start building that all-important credit history,
Okay.
establishing your first trade lines.
Trade lines.
Yes.
That sounds kind of like Star Wars-y.
It does?
What are we talking about here?
Trade lines are simply accounts that report your payment activity to the business credit bureaus.
So it's all about creating a record of how well we handle money.
Exactly.
It's like a gamer's scorecard.
Exactly. And a great way to start is with vendors who specialize in reporting to those bureaus.
Wait, not all vendors report to business credit bureaus.
That's right. Some only report to consumer credit bureaus,
Oh.
which won't help your business credit score.
So how do we find these vendors who are in the know about business credit?
You can find lists online of vendors who report,
Okay.
or just ask potential vendors directly.
So we're looking for vendors who are happy to extend us credit
Yes,
and who report our payment history.
exactly.
What kind of vendors should we be targeting?
Office supply stores are a classic.
Okay.
They offer net 30 terms,
What does that mean?
which means you have 30 days to pay your invoice.
Okay, so office supplies are a good starting point.
Yep.
What other kinds of vendors should be on our radar?
Fuel cards are another great option.
Fuel cards.
Many fuel card companies report to business credit bureaus,
Okay.
and they can be a really convenient way to manage your fuel expenses.
So it's like a 2-for-1 deal?
Exactly.
Practical for the business and good for building credit.
You got it.
I like it. Any other types of vendors we should be considering?
Utility companies can be good too,
Okay.
especially if you have a separate business location.
Right.
Some report to business credit bureaus,
Mm-hmm.
and a positive payment history with them looks great on your report.
So we've got office supplies, fuel cards, and utilities.
There you go.
What's the best way to work with these vendors to build credit?
Be professional and responsible.
Okay.
Understand the terms of the credit agreement,
Uh-huh.
and always pay your invoices on time.
No excuses.
No excuses.
Got it. Consistency and reliability are key.
Yes.
It's like leveling up our responsibility stat.
You're getting it. Every interaction builds your reputation,
Right.
which ultimately impacts your business credit score.
Okay, so we're paying those invoices on time,
Yes.
building those relationships.
It's all connected.
What happens next?
Once you've got a few solid trade lines,
Uh-huh.
it's time to diversify your credit profile.
Diversify.
Yep.
You mean like branching out beyond those starter vendors?
Exactly. Start exploring things like business credit cards and lines of credit.
Ooh, this is where things get interesting.
Yeah.
It's like unlocking new areas of the credit game map.
I love your enthusiasm.
Okay, let's talk business credit cards.
Let's do it.
I know they're not the only way to build credit,
Right?
but they do seem pretty popular.
They are.
What's the big deal about them?
Well, for starters,
Yeah.
they help you separate business expenses from your personal spending,
Right.
which we already know is crucial.
Yes.
Plus, they can make tracking your cash flow easier,
Okay.
and you can earn rewards or points on your purchases.
So it's not just about the credit limit,
No.
it's about the extra perks that come with it.
Right. Many cards have features geared towards helping small businesses,
Like what?
like travel rewards, cash back, and even 0% interest periods.
Okay, that sounds pretty tempting.
It is.
What should we look for when choosing a business credit card?
Do your research.
No.
Compare offers.
Uh-huh.
Different cards have different benefits.
Right.
So find one that fits your spending habits and the needs of your business.
So find the right card for our playstyle.
Exactly.
Got it. What about lines of credit?
Okay.
How do those work?
A business line of credit is like a pre-approved loan
Okay.
that you can tap into whenever you need it.
So it's like a reserve power-up
Yes.
we can use for emergencies or special opportunities?
You got it. And unlike a traditional loan,
Uh-huh.
you only pay interest on the amount you actually borrow.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is.
That seems way more flexible than a regular loan.
It is. It is.
What does it take to qualify for one of those?
Usually you'll need a decent business credit history to get approved for a line of credit.
Okay.
So it's something you often go for after you've built up some initial credit with those trade lines.
So it's like a reward for playing the credit game well.
You could say that.
Okay.
It's a sign that you're on the right track.
This is great information.
Good.
It feels like we're really mastering the ins and outs of business credit now.
You are.
But before we get too carried away,
Yes.
I want to remind everyone that building credit is a marathon, not a sprint.
You're absolutely right.
It takes time, patience, and consistency.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's not about finding some cheat code or trying to trick the system.
No,
It's about building a strong foundation
it is.
for long-term success.
That's the goal.
So let's quickly recap what we've covered in this part of our deep dive.
Right.
We started with the importance of separating our personal and business finances.
Right. That means establishing a legal business entity,
Uh-huh.
getting an EIN,
Yes.
and opening a dedicated business bank account.
Then we talked about building our credit history
Yes.
by opening those all-important trade lines with vendors who report to the business credit bureaus.
That's right.
And as our credit profile matures,
Yeah.
we can start exploring business credit cards and lines of credit to add more variety and flexibility, all while staying on top of our payments and managing our credit responsibly.
Excellent point.
This has been a fantastic conversation so far,
It has.
but we're not done yet.
No, we're not.
Be sure to catch part 3 of our deep dive where we'll unlock the ultimate secrets
Yes.
of maintaining excellent business credit and using it to reach new heights.
Love it.
All right, we're back for part 3.
We are.
It feels like we've been on an epic credit building quest so far,
It has been a journey.
but I'm ready for those ultimate secrets you teased.
Okay, let's get to it.
What's the next level in this credit game?
All right, well, we've laid the groundwork.
Yeah.
Now it's about fine-tuning your strategy.
Okay.
And one of the most important things at this stage
Yeah.
is actively monitoring your business credit reports.
Okay, so we're not just setting things up and hoping for the best.
Oh,
We're keeping a close eye on our progress.
you got to be proactive.
Okay.
It helps you catch any errors or inaccuracies that could be dragging your score down.
So it's like checking our credit report for typos.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Make sure everything is accurate and up to date.
Exactly. Mistakes happen, and you don't want to let them sabotage your hard work.
Okay, so we're scanning those reports for errors.
Yes.
What else should we be looking at?
Keep a close eye on your credit limits and utilization rates.
Utilization rates, that sounds a bit technical.
It's simpler than it sounds.
Okay.
It's the percentage of available credit you're currently using.
So if I have a credit limit of $10,000
Yeah.
and I've used $2,000,
Uh-huh.
my utilization rate is 20%.
You got it.
Okay.
And just like with personal credit,
Yeah.
keeping your business credit utilization low is key for a healthy score.
So low utilization is good.
Low utilization is good.
Okay. Keep an eye on those utilization rates.
Yes.
What else can we do to make sure we're at the top of our credit game?
Building strong relationships with your vendors and creditors is crucial.
So it's not just about paying on time.
It's not just about paying on time.
It's about communication and building those connections.
Open communication is key.
Okay.
If you know a payment might be late,
Yeah.
reach out proactively and explain the situation.
Okay, that makes sense. It shows you're on top of things.
Exactly.
And builds trust even when things get a little bumpy.
Right. When you have a good rapport with your creditors, they're more likely to be flexible if you hit a rough patch.
Oh, that's great.
Like having a support system.
Okay, so we're monitoring reports.
Yes.
Keeping utilization low
Uh-huh.
and building those relationships.
All important.
What other advanced moves should we have up our sleeve?
Strategically leveraging personal guarantees can be a powerful tool.
Wait, personal guarantees?
Yeah.
But haven't we been stressing the importance of keeping personal and business finances separate?
You're absolutely right, but sometimes, especially when you're just starting out and don't have a long credit history,
Yeah.
a personal guarantee can help you secure funding.
Okay, so it's like a temporary bridge between your personal and business credit. Exactly.
A way to build trust.
You're essentially vouching for your business,
Got it.
which can give lenders more confidence.
Okay, so it's a calculated risk
It is.
that can open doors when used wisely.
You want to be strategic.
But it's definitely not something to jump into lightly.
No, you need to weigh the pros and cons carefully and make sure you understand the terms before putting your personal assets on the line.
Absolutely. We want to be strategic and protect ourselves at the same time.
That's right.
Any other advanced strategies we should know about?
Don't underestimate the importance of managing your business debt wisely.
Okay, so we're talking about the bigger picture.
Exactly.
How we approach debt overall.
Right. Start by avoiding more debt than you can comfortably handle.
Right.
It's easy to get overzealous,
Yeah, I can see that.
but you need to be realistic about your cash flow.
It's like choosing the right difficulty level in a game.
Ooh, I like that.
You don't want to start on expert mode right out of the gate.
Exactly. It's about knowing your limits and playing smart.
Right. Understand the terms of your debt,
Okay.
like interest rates,
Uh-huh.
repayment schedules.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to negotiate with lenders to get the best deal possible.
So being informed and proactive can really pay off.
It absolutely does. Managing debt wisely shows lenders you're a responsible borrower, which further strengthens your credit profile.
It all comes full circle.
I could tell.
We make smart decisions about debt.
Uh-huh.
It improves our credit worthiness,
Yep.
which in turn gives us access to better financing options.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
It's all about setting your business up for long-term success.
That's the goal.
This has been incredible.
It's been fun.
We've gone from feeling lost in the credit wilderness
Right.
to having a treasure map leading to financial success.
I'm so glad you feel that way.
Before we wrap up,
Yeah.
I want to leave everyone with this thought.
Okay.
Building business credit is an investment in your future.
It is.
It takes work, but the rewards are huge.
Couldn't agree more. By taking the steps we've talked about today, you can unlock so many opportunities for your business.
Right.
From getting better loan terms
Yeah.
to having more leverage with suppliers.
It's a journey.
It is.
Celebrate your wins, learn from any setbacks, and keep striving to level up your financial game.
Well said.
That's all for our business credit deep dive.
Thank you for listening.
Until next time, happy building.